Teresa Giudice and Luis Ruelas celebrated their one-year anniversary as a couple on Tuesday's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey on Bravo. The 49-year-old reality star excitedly got ready to go out with Louis to celebrate the major milestone. She asked her daughters Gabriella, 16, and Gia, 20, for their opinion on what she should wear. "You were very excited when you first met Louis," said Gabriella. "I was very skeptical," said Gia. Teresa said you can't base things on what you hear. She said look at me, I went away. "But that means nothing, you didn't go to jail because you did it," said Gia. "I know that," said Teresa. "And you didn't look like a psychopath," said Gia. Teresa said, "Louis an amazing guy. You guys know or else I wouldn't be doing this. Your mom's pretty smart and you see how he treats me." "I love him," said Teresa. Gia said in a confessional that her family had been through a lot. "It's just so nice to see her so in love and so happy after she was alone for so long," said Gia in a confessional. Teresa started crying and said she asked her deceased parents to help her, and then the next week she met Louis, 47. At Melissa's house, Melissa planned her daughter Antonia, 15, a sweet 16 party. Melissa said in a confessional that she didn't have a sweet 16 party because her father died that year in a car accident. "I just remember feeling sad and alone," she said. "It's one of those things you want to give her everything that you never got to have." Antonia was not happy at Melissa that she had to switch schools. "You don't move someone in the middle of high school, that was cruel," said Antonia. "You did not consider my feelings at all." Antonia told her after injuring herself and switching schools that she didn't want to do cheer anymore. "Well, that's not an option," said Melissa. At Teresa's house, she showed Gia that bracelet that she got for Louis as a gift. Then a driver came to pick her up and took her to a dock that was covered with rose petals. She boarded a yacht and a man serenaded them with a saxophone. "I used to play the saxophone," said Teresa. A chef came out and told them what he would be serving them for dinner. Teresa gave him the bracelet and the card which said "Every day and every night with you is a blessing that I do not take for granted." Louis and Teresa both said "I love you" to each other. Teresa said in a confessional that in the year that we have been together I have never been shown so much love in my life. "Never an unkind word, Louis is a dream come true." Louis then presented to her a giant scroll that he had made that had all the things that he loved about her. "You, Teresa, are my soulmate and I want to spend the rest of my life with you," read Louis from the scroll. Jennifer Aiden, 44, meanwhile was questioning her marriage during the episode after news of her husband's old affair had become public. "I don't think it's fair for anyone to stay in a relationship where they are not happy," said Jennifer in a confessional. "I'm questioning my marriage, the trust we have for each other, and that's scary for me." Jennifer discussed the devastating impact that the news of Bill's old affair was having on her life with her brother Stephen. Stephen asked if she told their mother about the affair and she told him that she didn't, that she was cursed at Margaret. Stephen asked if their mother was mad at Bill and she said I'm sure that some Middle Eastern part of her thinks that men do this sometimes and it's okay. But it's not okay, said Stephen. Stephen asked Jennifer how she was doing about everything. It was one thing living through it privately, said Jennifer, who met her brother at a bagel place to try to make her feel better while the other housewives were at a spa day that she wasn't invited to. Now that it's out there and I have to be forced to deal with it, it's really hard. Stephen asked her how things were with Bill and she said honestly, I don't know. We don't talk about it. Stephen asked if Bill was willing to go to a therapist and she said no. He was almost like if we go to a space where we can tell each other everything, I'm afraid that we are going to open Pandora's box and not be able to close it, said Jennifer. At this point in my marriage I'm suffering, said Jennifer, and that she didn't want to turn into mom. I don't want to be married for 50 years to him and then think that my life passed me by. The episode titled Allegation Aggravation picked up at the boys' night when Bill Aden stormed out of the restaurant after his wife Jennifer's character was attacked. Frank Catania ran out to try to stop him from leaving, but Bill said no, I'm done. There are lines that shouldn't be crossed. Back at the table, Joe Gorga, 42, said Jennifer digs in everyone's life. Evan Goldschneider, 46, said he didn't care about a guy code about bringing up that Jennifer went digging for dirt on him. Bill said to Frank at the valet that Jen is not the one who came up with the rumor of Evan cheating. Teresa started the rumor and it comes back to blow up on Jen because Jen asked a question to someone. That's a complete insult, I can't take that. Bill told Frank I'm not staying somewhere I'm not welcome. Frank told him that wasn't true, but Bill said he was done and got into his red Ferrari and drove off. Frank got back to the table and told them that Bill was just defending his wife. Frank said in a confessional that when we are out Teresa man code. Drama is for the ladies. Fun's for the men. The men did shots and then Teresa Giudice's boyfriend Louis showed up. Joe Gorga told him that Bill stormed out already. Teresa called and Louis told her that everything was good. Louis told the other men that they might think that Teresa yells at him but that things between them were actually amazing. Joe then brought up the allegations that were going on about Louis on social media. Yeah, I've had a couple of bad relationships, Louis said. But I'm sure every guy at this table has had a girl that will talk bad about you and say something different or the opposite of the truth. Louis told them they could ask him whatever they wanted. NFL star Tiki Barber, 46, asked him about the allegations of physical violence. There's no physical violence, said Louis. But we keep hearing it, what do we make of it? Said Tiki. There's no truth to that, said Louis. There's a couple of angry exes very thirsty for attention. So no. No. Louis said of the girl they were referring to that I heard a rumor that she stabbed her husband with a butcher knife. Louis said he heard that rumor about her when they were dating and Joe asked him why he didn't run. I didn't want to believe it, said Louis. Wow, said Joe. Frank said in a confessional that the least they could do was to give Louis the benefit of the doubt unless proven otherwise. This is a little weird, said Joe in a confessional. But Teresa has made up her mind that she wants to stay with Louis, and if I wanna stay in my sister's life, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. The men out-toasted to Louis. The next morning all the men were hungover. Margaret Josephs, 54, asked her husband Joe if anyone brought up the allegations against Louis, and he said Tiki did. Joe said Louis then told them about how supposedly that this ex-girlfriend stabbed her ex-husband with a knife. "What the F does that have to do with anything?" said Margaret. "So now discredit the victim." This guy's slick. Jackie Goldschneider, 45, told her husband Evan that she thought Louis' comments were weird. "I don't like discounting women like that," she said. Joe told his wife Melissa, 42, that the situation was uncomfortable for him because Louis might be his brother-in-law. "Has going to be your brother-in-law 100% unless Terry's some proof," said Melissa. Louis told Teresa about how Tiki asked about the allegations and said that his wife was asking questions. "I don't even know her," Teresa said in a confessional of Tiki's wife Tracy Johnson, 46. Now she is using her husband to do detective work? Back the F up. Teresa told Louis not to worry and that she would protect him and their love bubble. Louis laughed. Evan also told Jackie about what happened with Bill leaving the dinner. Jackie said she didn't think that Bill was the bad guy. "His wife is a disaster," said Jackie of Jennifer. At Jennifer's house, Bill told his wife that he defended her character and left the diner. "I'm happy you stuck up for me," said Jennifer. "I have your back," said Bill. Jennifer said to him she had never heard him be vocal like this and he had a tendency not to show emotion. "I'm an imperfect human being and not everyone has the personality to be able to show emotion," said Bill. In a confessional, Jennifer said she was frustrated because she had all this anger about the affair that was resurfacing and he was sitting there not showing any emotion. "I want dialogue, emotion, communication, and you are telling me that you're incapable of that?" said Jennifer in a confessional. "As if I didn't feel alone already." Dolores Catania, 51, spent time with her son Frankie, 22, and her daughter Gabby, 25, who had moved into her now renovated house. Dolores told them she was worried about her mother. "It's a very scary time for us," Dolores said. "The surgery is pretty intense." Frankie and Gabby said David has been there for them and that they speak to him often. Dolores told them she hadn't spoken to him, but during this difficult time appreciated his help. Margaret called Dolores and asked how her mother Valerie was doing. She said she was at her house because she was on bed rest before her surgery. Margaret said she wanted to take her for a spa day with the other women except Jennifer. The next day, the women arrived at a spa for Margaret's adult spa party. Melissa, Jackie, Teresa, Tracy showed up and changed into their spa robes and drank mimosas. Teresa told them about how Louis organized a sunset cruise for their anniversary and then presented her with a scroll of all of the things he loved about her. "Was gullibility on the scroll?" said Margaret in a confessional. When Teresa went to change into her robe, Margaret wondered if she was upset that the other guys asked Louis about his past. "I want her to stay in her love bubble," said Melissa in a confessional about not engaging Margaret in her conversation about Louis. They should too if they know what's good for them. Doesn't everybody want to enjoy the effing spa day? When Teresa walked back with a mimosa in her hand, the women were still talking about what happened on the guys' night out. Teresa said she called Jennifer before she came about the spa day before she realized that she wasn't invited. She just burned every bridge that night, and I don't understand why she would do that, said Margaret of when they kicked them out. She does what she does because she is miserable in her marriage, said Tracy. I think she projected. You just met Jennifer, you don't know her relationship, said Teresa. Teresa said she was going to let Tracy's comments and those of her husband Tiki go because it was a day for Dolores. Dolores arrived and they asked her how her mother was doing. My mother cannot be left alone for a minute because she is in danger of a heart attack, said Dolores. David has been with her at every appointment but I haven't spoken to him. I think it's better at this point. Dolores, Teresa and Jackie went for their treatments. Margaret said that the situation with David for Dolores was great on one hand because he wanted to take care of Valerie. But it's also very hurtful, said Margaret to Melissa and Tracy. He hasn't called her. It's sad for me that David can be there for everybody in Dolores' family besides Dolores, Melissa said in a confessional. But Dolores would never admit how much this hurts. That's the old school Italian way, swear you're okay till it hurts so much that you just explode on everyone else. Melissa shared that her daughter Antonia seemed a little depressed after she tore her ACL. She said she thought it also had to do with the move. Melissa said compared to her life she thought her daughter had it easy. Melissa said in a confessional that she moved at the same age to get away from her father but that right after we moved there my dad died. Melissa told Margaret and Tracy that she was so depressed going into her Florida high school. They bullied me like you wouldn't believe, Melissa said. In a confessional, Melissa said him walking down the hall with black curly hair and a Jersey accent. I was fish out of water. It was so rough. Melissa said she felt bad about putting her daughter through anything. Teresa, Dolores, and Jackie sat down after their treatments. Teresa asked them what they thought about Tracy and Jackie said she liked her. I think she is a little much, said Teresa. She is very in everybody's business. At Melissa's pink party the other day she was into my business with my brother. Teresa brought up how Tiki asked questions about Louis and said that his wife was saying things to him. Nobody should pry into your business, said Teresa. Teresa said that Tracy was talking about Jennifer even though she just met her. Jackie said that Jennifer comes after people very hard. Margaret comes after people, too, said Jennifer. Margaret and Tracy returned and heard that they were talking about Jennifer. The problem with Jennifer is that she takes it to the next level, said Margaret. But you said that about her husband because you were trying to hurt her, said Teresa. I wasn't trying to hurt her, I was trying to say she was a hypocrite, said Margaret. Dolores said she spoke to Jennifer and that she is very hurt about the news of the affair coming out. She's a effing mess, said Dolores. The Real Housewives of New Jersey will return next Tuesday on Bravo.